Today we are going to explore the critical components that must be controlled to lead a life of power and purpose: our mind, our money, and our mouth. First, let us talk about the mind. The mind is a powerful thing. It is the origin of every decision, every dream, every action. Your mind is a fertile garden, and whatever you plant in it, you will reap. But here's the challenge: most people let their minds be filled with negativity, fear, and doubt. The mind is easily swayed by external influences, media, and the opinions of others. But you must take control. You must guard your thoughts fiercely, because the quality of your thoughts directly impacts the quality of your life. If you wish to shape your future, begin by controlling your thoughts. Fill your mind with thoughts of possibility, thoughts of greatness, thoughts of purpose. You see, thoughts are not just thoughts, they are seeds. What you plant today will grow tomorrow. If you want to live a life of success, your thoughts must align with that vision. Second, we must discuss money. Money is a tool for freedom, a tool for impact, and a tool for service. But many people live as though money controls them. They chase it, they worship it, they live for it. This is a dangerous mindset. Money should serve you, not the other way around. It is essential to understand that money is not the goal, it is the vehicle. The goal is to live a life of impact, a life where your resources, both financial and emotional, are used to improve the lives of others and make the world better. If you control your money, you control your life. If money controls you, it will lead you down a path of stress, insecurity, and lack. Remember, wealth is not just about accumulating finances. True wealth includes health, relationships, wisdom, and purpose. You are wealthy when you have peace of mind, abundance in relationships, and a sense of fulfillment in your work. Now, let us talk about the mouth. Your mouth is a reflection of your heart and your mind. The words you speak carry incredible power. Your words can build up, or they can tear down. They can create opportunities, or they can shut doors. Think of your words as seeds that will grow into your future. When you speak, you must speak with purpose, with intent, and with love. Words can destroy relationships, ruin opportunities, and create barriers, but words can also heal, encourage, and build bridges. If you want to experience success in your life, learn the art of speaking positively and purposefully. Speak life into your goals, speak life into your dreams, and speak life into the people around you. Let me remind you, your mind, your money, and your mouth are all tools. They are instruments that, when controlled, can lead you to unimaginable success. But if they are uncontrolled, they can derail your life. So take control of your mind. Decide to think thoughts of possibility and greatness. Take control of your money. Decide to use it as a tool to serve, to impact, and to live with purpose. Take control of your mouth. Speak with power, with purpose, and with love. When you master these three things, you will experience true freedom. A freedom that comes from within. A freedom that cannot be taken away by anyone or anything. Live intentionally, live purposefully, and live powerfully. The mind is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It is the epicenter of all decisions, all actions, and every outcome in life. The reality we experience begins within our minds. Every goal achieved, every success celebrated, and every challenge overcome is born from a thought. What we think shapes who we become. The mind is like a garden. Whatever we plant, nourish, and cultivate within it, it will eventually grow and manifest in our lives. If we sow seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's exactly what we will harvest. But if we plant seeds of faith, ambition, and purpose, we create the fertile ground for success and fulfillment. The mind is not just a passive observer of life. It is an active participant in creating reality. Thoughts trigger emotions, and emotions drive behavior. When you change the way you think, you change the way you feel. And when you change the way you feel, you change the way you act. This cycle continues, ultimately determining the direction of your life. That is why it's essential to guard your thoughts, to protect them from negativity and self-doubt. Too often, people allow external forces, the opinions of others, the noise of the world, the negativity that surrounds us to control their thoughts. This lack of control allows these outside influences to dictate their mindset and thus their results. But when you take control of your mind, you take control of your destiny. You can choose to think differently, to focus on possibilities, to choose hope over despair, and to envision a future that aligns with your dreams and purpose. It's important to remember that the mind is not just about thinking in a generic sense. It is about purpose-driven thinking. Our thoughts must be aligned with our true goals and values. Without purpose, our minds become a chaotic storm of fleeting thoughts and distractions. But when we live with a clear sense of direction, we can train our minds to stay focused on what truly matters. The mind is not just a tool for survival, but a powerful instrument for creation. It holds the keys to a life of success, fulfillment, and abundance. To control your mind is to gain mastery over your life. Mastery over the mind means choosing what to think, how to think, and when to think. And when you master your mind, you master the future that unfolds before you. Self-discipline and focus are the bedrock of success in any area of life. These two qualities work together to shape the path from intention to achievement. Without self-discipline, your actions become erratic and your dreams remain just that, dreams. Without focus, you become easily distracted by the noise of life, and the vision you once had is lost in the clutter of day-to-day tasks. To truly thrive, you must cultivate the ability to stay committed to your goals, despite obstacles or temptations that may arise. Self-discipline is the art of saying no to things that do not serve your greater purpose. It is the ability to make difficult decisions in the face of immediate gratification in favor of long-term rewards. This might mean resisting the urge to give in to distractions, postponing pleasures, or making sacrifices that others may not understand. However, the true strength of self-discipline lies in its ability to build momentum. Every time you exercise discipline, whether it's waking up early, sticking to a plan, or avoiding procrastination, you are reinforcing the structure of your life. Over time, this structure transforms into results. You are no longer at the mercy of fleeting desires or external influences. Instead, you are directing your own path with intention. Focus, on the other hand, is the ability to zero in on what truly matters and block out all the distractions that seek to pull you off course. Focus is not about working harder, but working smarter. It's about prioritizing your time, energy, and efforts on the most important tasks that will propel you toward your goals. It's easy to be busy, but being busy does not equate to being productive. Focus requires you to have a clear vision of where you are going and a laser-like commitment to achieving that vision. When you are focused, you eliminate the noise and tune out the distractions. You create a sense of flow and clarity that empowers you to take decisive action. When self-discipline and focus come together, they create a powerful combination. Self-discipline provides the structure, the muscle to stay committed to the process, while focus directs that energy toward the right actions and decisions. Without focus, self-discipline can become aimless, and without self-discipline, focus can be easily broken. Together, they form a strong foundation for success, allowing you to stay on course even when the road becomes difficult. Whether it's personal growth, financial goals, or career achievements, self-discipline and focus give you the ability to turn your dreams into reality. They are the quiet forces that shape a life of accomplishment and fulfillment, and without them, even the most talented individuals can falter. To live a life of purpose, self-discipline and focus must become ingrained habits. They must be cultivated daily through conscious decisions and consistent effort. Over time, as you practice these qualities, they become second nature, and the process of achieving your goals becomes a natural part of your life. When you truly master self-discipline and focus, you are no longer held captive by external forces or fleeting desires. Instead, you live with intention, and your life unfolds according to the dreams you have dared to believe in. Our thoughts are not merely passing whims or random occurrences. They are the very foundation upon which our reality is built. Everything we experience in life begins with a thought. The way we perceive the world, the way we react to challenges, and the way we approach opportunities are all shaped by the thoughts we choose to entertain. It is easy to underestimate the power of thought, but our inner dialogue profoundly influences our emotions, our decisions, and ultimately our outcomes. Thought is the seed from which our actions grow, and actions grow, and actions are the results of those thoughts. In this way, our thoughts direct the course of our lives whether we are aware of it or not. At the core of this process is the understanding that what we think becomes what we believe. These beliefs, in turn, govern the choices we make and the attitudes we carry. A person who believes that success is within reach is far more likely to take action toward that success than someone who believes they are destined for failure. Our thoughts form the lens through which we view ourselves and the world around us, shaping our perception of what is possible. If we hold limiting beliefs, our thoughts will focus on obstacles and fears, leading us to doubt our capabilities and dreams. On the other hand, positive, empowered thoughts open the door to opportunity and possibility. What we think about ourselves, our worth, and our potential directly impacts our ability to create the life we envision. It is not just our belief system that is influenced by thoughts, our emotions are deeply intertwined with them. Negative thoughts often breed negative emotions, fear, anxiety, and frustration, while positive thoughts give rise to emotions of joy, confidence, and hope. These emotions, in turn, impact how we approach challenges. When we are consumed by fear or self-doubt, we are more likely to shrink from opportunities or avoid risk altogether. But when our thoughts are rooted in positivity and possibility, we are more resilient, proactive, and open to growth. In this sense, our emotional state can either propel us forward or hold us back, and it all begins with the way we choose to think. Our thoughts have the power to create our reality by guiding our actions. Thoughts are not passive, they drive behavior. When we think about something long enough, it becomes a desire, and that desire fuels action. A person who repeatedly thinks about running a business will eventually take the necessary steps to make that business a reality. Similarly, someone who constantly thinks about improving their health will begin making conscious decisions that support that goal. Actions are a direct result of our thoughts, and over time, the small, consistent actions we take based on our thoughts compound to create tangible results. This is why it is so crucial to be intentional with the thoughts we nurture. Every action that leads to success begins with a single thought, and every setback begins with a single doubt. The pursuit of purpose requires discipline, focus, and sacrifice, qualities that may not seem immediately pleasurable but lead to long-term rewards. It often means saying no to the things that provide temporary satisfaction in favor of actions that take us closer to our goals. These decisions may not always be easy, and they may require us to step outside of our comfort zones, but they build strength and character. True fulfillment doesn't come from fleeting moments of pleasure, but from the progress made toward a meaningful and well-defined goal. The joy that comes from pursuing purpose is deeper than any momentary pleasure because it resonates with our values and our sense of identity. Purpose also brings a sense of legacy. It's not just about the here and now, but about what we leave behind. What impact will we have made? What difference will our lives have created? Pleasure is a solitary pursuit. It satisfies individual desires in the moment. Our purpose, however, extends beyond the self. It connects us to something greater, whether it's our family, our community, or even the world at large. When we live with purpose, we become conduits for positive change, and our lives become a testament to the lasting influence we have had. While pleasure can provide temporary relief or joy, it does not have the power to change lives or shape destinies. Purpose is what inspires us to overcome obstacles, to keep moving forward in the face of adversity, and to make decisions that lead to lasting impact. Choosing purpose over pleasure is not about rejecting joy or happiness. Rather, it's about recognizing that true joy comes from fulfilling our potential and living authentically. It's about aligning our actions with a greater vision, knowing that in the end, the fulfillment we seek comes not from momentary pleasures, but from the meaningful pursuit of purpose. Money, in its essence, is merely a tool, a medium of exchange designed to help us accomplish things in life. It provides access to opportunities, comfort, and security, and has the potential to empower individuals to make a difference in the world. However, when money is not properly understood or controlled, it can easily take control of our lives. Far too many people fall into the trap of chasing after wealth, believing that it is the ultimate measure of success. They work tirelessly to acquire more without fully understanding that the pursuit of money, if not handled with wisdom, can lead to stress, emptiness, and even destruction. Mastering money is not about accumulating as much as possible. It's about understanding its place in our lives and ensuring that it serves our higher goals rather than dictating our actions and emotions. When we are controlled by money, we become its slaves. Our decisions are driven by fear of scarcity, anxiety over loss, or the desire for status and approval. We may overwork ourselves to earn more, neglecting our health, relationships, and personal well-being in the process. We might make financial choices based on social comparisons or temporary desires, rather than long-term sustainability and purpose. Money becomes a source of stress, conflict, and distraction, and our sense of self-worth becomes tied to our bank accounts. When we let money dictate our lives, we surrender our autonomy and lose the ability to align our actions with our true values and vision. On the other hand, when we master money, we recognize it as a tool, nothing more, nothing less. We understand that money is simply a means to an end, and that the true value in life comes not from accumulating wealth, but from how we use it. Mastering money involves cultivating financial literacy, setting clear financial goals, and practicing discipline in how we earn, spend, and save. It's about making deliberate choices that align with our priorities, rather than reacting impulsively to immediate desires or societal pressures. A person who masters money is not driven by the need for wealth itself, but uses money as a means to fuel their purpose, to serve others, and to create lasting value. This control over money also brings peace of mind. When we are in charge of our finances rather than at the mercy of our financial situation, we gain confidence and security. We are no longer constantly worried about meeting basic needs or keeping up with others. Instead, we can focus our energy on growing, learning, and contributing. Money is not a source of stress, but a tool that allows us to live freely and authentically. By mastering money, we free ourselves from the mental and emotional burden that comes with financial uncertainty, and instead we can channel our energy into purposeful endeavors. Mastery over money also means understanding that true wealth extends beyond just financial assets. Money should never be seen as an end in itself, but as a means to create a richer, fuller life. Wealth encompasses much more than just what's in the bank. It includes health, relationships, education, and experiences that contribute to personal growth and fulfillment. When money is used wisely, it enables us to invest in our well-being, in the people we care about, and in the things that truly matter. A person who masters money views it as a tool to enhance the quality of life, to support meaningful relationships, and to make a positive impact on the world. Mastering money involves generosity. True wealth is measured not by how much you have, but by how much you give. The person who has mastered money understands that wealth is not for hoarding, but for sharing and investing in the well-being of others. The more you give, the more you receive, not necessarily in material form, but in ways that enrich your soul, expand your influence, and bring fulfillment. Giving from a place of abundance rather than scarcity ensures that money serves you and those around you, rather than being an endless pursuit that takes more than it gives. Mastering money is about regaining control over our lives and ensuring that money remains a servant, not a master. It's about using money to live with purpose, to invest in personal growth, and to create positive change in the world. When we master money, we create a balanced, intentional life, one where financial stability and abundance support our goals, our relationships, and our vision for a meaningful future. Rather than being consumed by the need for more, we become the master of our money, directing it toward the things that matter most. True wealth is often mistaken as solely the accumulation of money or material possessions, yet this narrow view limits the expansive potential of what wealth really means. Wealth goes far beyond what can be measured in bank balances or the value of property. It encompasses every facet of life, from health and relationships to knowledge and personal growth. These elements of wealth, though intangible, have the power to bring lasting fulfillment, joy, and purpose, and they often provide far more value than any amount of money could ever offer. True wealth in its highest form is a holistic concept that nurtures the mind, body, spirit, and community. Health is one of the most vital forms of wealth, yet it is often overlooked. Without good health, all the money in the world becomes irrelevant. Wealth without health is a hollow existence, as the physical body is the vessel through which we experience life. Maintaining good health is not only about physical fitness, but also about mental and emotional well-being. A strong body, a clear mind, and a balanced emotional state are foundational to living a life of abundance. When we are healthy, we are able to pursue our goals with vigor, to enjoy meaningful experiences, and to give our best to the world around us. Health is an investment, one that provides returns in the form of energy, vitality, and longevity. Relationships are another vital source of wealth. No amount of material wealth can replace the value of deep, meaningful connections with others. The people we surround ourselves with, family, friends, mentors, and colleagues, enrich our lives in ways that money cannot. These relationships provide support during difficult times, joy in moments of success, and love that nourishes our soul. True wealth is found in the bonds we create with others, the lives we touch, and the impact we make on the people who matter most. It is through relationships that we find a sense of belonging and purpose, and we are reminded that the greatest treasures in life are not possessions but the people we care about and who care for us. Knowledge and wisdom are another form of wealth that transcends the financial realm. In a world that constantly evolves, the pursuit of learning and personal development is invaluable. Education, whether formal or self-directed, provides the tools needed to navigate life's challenges, seize opportunities, and grow into the best version of ourselves. Wealth and knowledge enriches our minds, expands our horizons, and equips us to create value in the world. When we invest in learning, we invest in our future, gaining the insight needed to solve problems, innovate, and lead. True wealth comes not just from what we acquire, but from how we use what we know to improve the lives of others and make meaningful contributions. Purpose and meaning are perhaps the highest forms of wealth. A life without purpose is a life adrift, searching for fulfillment in all the wrong places. Purpose is the compass that directs us toward our true calling, providing clarity and motivation in everything we do. When we are driven by purpose, we are no longer bound by the pursuit of material wealth, but instead are fueled by a deep desire to create, to contribute, and to leave a lasting legacy. Purpose gives us the strength to overcome adversity, the resilience to keep moving forward in the face of challenges, and the satisfaction of knowing that our lives matter. The wealth that comes from living with purpose is a sense of fulfillment that no amount of money can replicate. The wealth of time is often underestimated. Time is the one resource that cannot be bought, earned, or replaced. How we choose to spend our time is a reflection of what we truly value. Wealth and time is about investing it in meaningful activities that align with our goals and values. It's about creating a life where we prioritize what matters most, whether that's our passions, our relationships, or our personal growth, rather than being consumed by the constant pursuit of external rewards. When we are conscious of how we spend our time, we are better able to create a life that is rich in experiences, memories, and fulfillment. Wealth extends to the impact we have on the world. A person's legacy is the measure of how their actions have contributed to the betterment of others. The wealth that comes from service to others, from lifting people up and making a difference in their lives, far exceeds any financial achievement. True wealth is not just about what we accumulate for ourselves, but about what we give to the world. When we live in service to others, we create a ripple effect that can change lives, build communities, and shape the future. Wealth is not a one-dimensional pursuit, but a multifaceted concept that transcends money. When we recognize that true wealth is found in our health, relationships, knowledge, purpose, time, and impact, we begin to live a life of true abundance. The richest people are not necessarily those with the most money, but those who understand that wealth exists in many forms. By cultivating wealth in every area of life, we create a legacy of fulfillment, joy, and lasting value that no amount of material wealth could ever provide. Words hold immense power. They are not merely sounds or symbols, they are forces that shape reality. Every word spoken, written, or thought carries energy that influences the world around us and the lives we touch. Words have the ability to build or destroy, to heal or hurt, to inspire or discourage. Whether we realize it or not, they create and reinforce the narratives that govern our lives. Our words, both to ourselves and to others, dictate how we experience the world, how we see ourselves, and how we interact with the people we encounter. They are tools of creation capable of shaping the direction of our lives, our relationships, and even our destinies. The most immediate impact of words is felt in the way they shape our self-perception. The language we use to describe ourselves determines our self-worth. When we speak words of affirmation, encouragement, and kindness to ourselves, we begin to see ourselves through a lens of possibility and strength. We become empowered by the very words we use. On the other hand, when we use words of self-criticism, doubt, or negativity, we limit ourselves. These words reinforce feelings of inadequacy, fear, and insecurity, creating mental barriers that prevent us from reaching our full potential. The voice within us, often referred to as our inner dialogue, is powerful so much so that it can either propel us to greatness or keep us stuck in patterns of failure. Beyond the internal impact, words also shape the world around us. They have the power to influence and persuade. The right words spoken at the right time can inspire action, evoke change, and even ignite movements. Think of the speeches that have changed the course of history, words that rallied nations, motivated individuals, and shifted the collective mindset. These words had the ability to transcend time and space, leaving a lasting legacy. Similarly, in our everyday lives, the words we speak to others can have a profound impact. They can uplift someone in need of encouragement, offer comfort during times of pain, or spark a new idea that leads to innovation. Our words, whether spoken casually or intentionally, have the potential to change the course of someone's day or even their life. Words are also a reflection of the thoughts we entertain. What we think and speak is a manifestation of what resides in our minds. Negative thoughts lead to negative words, while positive thoughts lead to empowering and uplifting speech. In this way, our words are a mirror of our internal state. When we allow ourselves to be consumed by thoughts of scarcity, fear, or failure, we will inevitably speak words that reflect that mindset. However, when we cultivate a mindset of abundance, hope, and possibility, our words will naturally reflect this. The more we align our thoughts with positive outcomes, the more our language will shift, and the more we will see that positive energy reflected in our actions and results. In addition to their personal impact, words carry a deep social responsibility. The way we communicate with others, especially in times of conflict or disagreement, can either escalate or de-escalate a situation. Words have the power to build bridges or create divides. They can foster understanding or perpetuate misunderstanding. In an era where communication is often fractured, the responsibility to choose our words wisely is even more crucial. Thoughtful, compassionate language can create a space for dialogue, collaboration, and healing. Conversely, careless or harsh words can breed resentment, division, and hostility. It is not just the content of what we say that matters, but the way in which we say it and the intention behind it. Words spoken with empathy, respect, and understanding have the potential to bring people together, even in the face of deep differences. The words we use in our daily lives have the power to create habits and patterns of thought. Over time, the things we consistently say, both to ourselves and others, become beliefs and actions. If we constantly speak in terms of limitation or struggle, we start to internalize those ideas as truth. If we speak of success, possibility, and growth, we create a mindset that attracts these outcomes. Language shapes the way we approach challenges, how we see the future, and how we engage with opportunities. Repeated words of affirmation, for example, can lead to deep-seated confidence, while negative self-talk can lead to self-sabotage. The consistent use of empowering language can lead to habits of success, while negative language can create cycles of defeat. The power of words is not only limited to direct communication. Our written words, the stories we tell, and the narratives we write for ourselves also carry significant influence. The stories we tell about our past, our present, and our future shape our identity. If we see ourselves as victims of circumstance, our words will reflect that, and our life will unfold accordingly. But if we tell the story of resilience, growth, and possibility, we begin to see those qualities manifest in our experiences. The words we use in writing, in books, in social media, and in our private reflections all have the potential to inspire others and to create a ripple effect of positivity, insight, and motivation. Words are not just simple tools for communication. They are the vehicles that carry our intentions, thoughts, and beliefs into the world. They are the seeds we plant in the minds of others and ourselves, and they have the power to grow into actions, habits, and results. Whether we are speaking to ourselves in the silence of our minds, conversing with friends and family, or addressing a larger audience, we must recognize that our words shape the reality we experience. By choosing our words carefully, by speaking with purpose, kindness, and clarity, we have the ability to create a more positive, empowered world, not just for ourselves, but for everyone we encounter. The words we speak and the thoughts we entertain hold tremendous power over our lives. They shape our reality, influence our emotions, and determine our actions. What we think about shapes how we perceive the world. And what we speak reflects and reinforces the beliefs and ideas in our minds. This is why it is essential to guard both our words and our thoughts. What we think about frequently becomes what we speak, and what we speak ultimately becomes our reality. In many ways, we are the product of our own internal dialogue and the language we use to communicate with ourselves and others. Our thoughts are the seeds from which our words grow. If we constantly dwell on negative or limiting thoughts, these thoughts will eventually manifest in the language we use. We may find ourselves speaking words of doubt, fear, and insecurity, which only reinforce the negative patterns we are thinking. These words have the power to shape our emotional state and influence our actions, often leading us to self-sabotage. On the other hand, when we focus on empowering, positive, and abundant thoughts, the words we speak reflect these ideas, and they become tools that inspire action, build confidence, and open doors to opportunities. When we guard our thoughts, we protect ourselves from the influence of negativity, fear, and doubt. The mind is like a garden, and the thoughts we entertain are the seeds we plant. Just as a gardener carefully selects the seeds they want to cultivate, we must be selective about the thoughts we allow to take root in our minds. If we nurture negative thoughts, we are allowing weeds to grow in our mental garden, leading to destructive patterns of thinking. However, if we consciously choose to focus on positive, uplifting thoughts, we are planting seeds of growth, strength, and resilience that will bear fruit in our lives. Similarly, guarding our words is equally important. Words are powerful tools that carry energy. They can inspire, uplift, and create, or they can tear down, destroy, and limit. The words we speak shape the atmosphere around us and influence the people we communicate with. Harsh words can cause wounds, create divisions, and breed negativity, while kind, compassionate words have the power to heal, unite, and inspire. Each word we speak has the potential to change the course of a conversation, a relationship, or even a life. Therefore, it is essential to be mindful of the language we use, both with others and with ourselves. The words we speak to ourselves are especially powerful. Our internal dialogue shapes our self-esteem, our sense of worth, and our ability to pursue our dreams. If we constantly speak to ourselves with criticism, self-doubt, or negativity, we reinforce feelings of inadequacy and limit our potential. On the other hand, if we speak to ourselves with love, compassion, and encouragement, we build a positive self-image and empower ourselves to take bold actions. The words we use within our own minds are the foundation upon which we build our external reality. When we guard our words internally, we protect our self-confidence and cultivate a mindset of possibility and strength. Guarding your thoughts and words also requires a heightened sense of awareness. It is easy to fall into patterns of negative thinking and speaking, especially when faced with challenges or setbacks. In these moments, it becomes even more important to consciously choose what we think and say. By catching negative thoughts before they can take root and replacing them with more constructive, optimistic alternatives, we can prevent them from spiraling into self-fulfilling prophecies. Similarly, when we are about to speak words that may be harmful, discouraging, or unkind, pausing and reconsidering our language can make all the difference. This practice of guarding our thoughts and words is not about suppressing emotions or ignoring challenges. It is about being intentional with the way we respond to those emotions and challenges. Life is filled with ups and downs, and it is natural to experience moments of frustration, sadness, or anger. However, it is how we think and speak in these moments that determines our trajectory. If we allow ourselves to speak words of despair or defeat, we reinforce those feelings. But if we choose to speak words of hope, strength, and gratitude, we elevate our state and remain open to the possibilities of growth and change. Another key aspect of guarding our words and thoughts is protecting our minds from the influence of external negativity. The world around us is filled with messages that can impact our thinking and speaking, from the media to the opinions of others. Constant exposure to negativity can seep into our consciousness and affect the way we think and speak. This is why it is essential to be discerning about what we consume, both mentally and emotionally. We must take care to surround ourselves with positive influences, uplifting content, and people who support our growth and well-being. By doing so, we create an environment in which our thoughts and words are empowered, not diluted by the negativity of the world. In practicing this discipline of guarding both our thoughts and our words, we begin to transform our reality. Our mindset shifts from one of limitation and fear to one of abundance and possibility. Our language becomes a reflection of this shift, reinforcing our belief in ourselves, our potential, and the opportunities that lie ahead. The more we practice guarding our thoughts and words, the more we begin to see the results in our lives. We attract more positivity, more opportunities, and more success because we are no longer unknowingly sabotaging ourselves with destructive language or limiting beliefs. Guarding our thoughts and words is ultimately a way of taking control of our lives. It is an act of self-care, self-love, and self-empowerment. By being intentional with what we think and say, we create a reality that aligns with our highest potential. Our thoughts and words become the building blocks of the life we want to live, and they provide the foundation for achieving our dreams. Mental and financial freedom are two intertwined yet distinct concepts, each playing a crucial role in living a fulfilling and successful life. While financial freedom is often seen as the ability to generate enough wealth to support oneself without the need for constant work, mental freedom is about breaking free from the mental constraints that hold us back. Both are essential for achieving a life of abundance, peace, and purpose. Achieving financial freedom without mental freedom is like building a house on shaky ground. It may look stable at first, but it is not built to last. Similarly, mental freedom without financial independence can leave us feeling frustrated and limited, unable to fully pursue our dreams and goals. Therefore, to live a truly free life, we must nurture both. Mental freedom begins with the power of the mind. It is the ability to think clearly, make decisions without fear, and maintain a sense of calm and purpose, regardless of external circumstances. One of the most limiting factors in achieving mental freedom is our own limiting beliefs. These beliefs are often formed from past experiences, societal conditioning, or negative influences that cause us to doubt our abilities and potential. Mental freedom requires the courage to challenge these limiting beliefs, replacing them with empowering thoughts and ideas that align with our true potential. It involves recognizing that our minds are not bound by past mistakes, failures, or societal expectations. By liberating our minds from these constraints, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, growth, and opportunities. Mental freedom requires emotional resilience, the ability to stay composed and focused even in the face of adversity. Life will inevitably present challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, but when we are mentally free, we can approach these difficulties with a clear mind and a positive outlook. Instead of being overwhelmed by fear, frustration, or doubt, we are able to find solutions, remain adaptable, and keep moving forward. Emotional resilience is built through consistent practice, such as meditation, mindfulness, and other techniques that help us become more aware of our thoughts and emotions. When we achieve mental freedom, we are no longer at the mercy of negative emotions or external pressures. We take control of our inner world, creating the mental space necessary to make empowered choices. Financial freedom, on the other hand, is the ability to generate wealth and manage resources in a way that allows us to live the life we desire, without being constrained by financial limitations. It is not about accumulating vast amounts of money for the sake of status or materialism, but about having the security and freedom to pursue our passions, invest in our well-being, and contribute to the greater good. Achieving financial freedom requires financial literacy, the understanding of how money works, how to manage it, and how to create streams of income. It also requires discipline, strategic planning, and a long-term perspective, as building wealth is rarely an overnight process. Those who achieve financial freedom do so by consistently making smart financial decisions, living below their means, and investing in assets that will generate passive income. To achieve financial freedom, it is essential to take a proactive approach to money. This involves setting clear financial goals, creating a budget, saving and investing wisely, and eliminating debt. Financial freedom is not just about earning more money, but also about managing the money you already have with intention and purpose. By being mindful of our spending habits and avoiding unnecessary debt, we free ourselves from financial stress and create a foundation of stability. As our financial situation improves, we gain the ability to make choices based on what aligns with our values, rather than being forced to accept situations out of necessity or fear. Financial freedom is not simply about accumulating wealth, it is about having control over your time. Many people work tirelessly day in and day out in jobs they may not enjoy, simply to pay bills and meet their financial obligations. Financial freedom provides the option to step away from this cycle, giving us the opportunity to choose how we spend our time. Time is a precious resource, and when we have the freedom to decide how to use it, we are able to focus on the things that matter most, whether that's pursuing a passion, spending quality time with loved ones, or contributing to the community. The freedom to direct your time toward meaningful pursuits is one of the greatest benefits of financial independence. Achieving mental and financial freedom requires a mindset shift. It involves moving from a scarcity mentality, where we believe there is never enough, to an abundance mindset, where we understand that opportunities and resources are plentiful. With this shift in perspective, we stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable and instead view them as challenges to be overcome. We begin to trust in our ability to create the life we want and take action toward achieving our goals. Mental freedom fosters the mindset that attracts financial success, and financial freedom enables us to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. The beauty of mental and financial freedom is that they create a virtuous cycle. As we achieve mental freedom and cultivate a positive mindset, we begin to make better financial decisions. The clarity of thought and emotional resilience gained through mental freedom allow us to stay disciplined and focused on our financial goals. In turn, as we achieve greater financial stability, we experience less stress and more security, which further enhances our mental well-being. This synergy between mental and financial freedom leads to a life where we are no longer bound by limiting thoughts or financial constraints, but instead we are empowered to create the life we truly desire. Mental and financial freedom are about autonomy, freedom from the constraints that hold us back from living fully and authentically. They allow us to break free from fear, self-doubt, and external pressure, enabling us to live a life of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment. Both freedoms are interdependent, and when nurtured together, they create the foundation for a truly liberated life. When we are mentally and financially free, we have the ability to live life on our own terms, pursue our passions, and contribute to the well-being of others, all while enjoying peace of mind and security. Living intentionally is the practice of consciously choosing how we spend our time, energy, and resources in alignment with our deepest values, goals, and desires. It is about recognizing that life is not something to be passively experienced, but an opportunity to actively shape. Every action, thought, and decision becomes a reflection of our intentions. When we live intentionally, we are aware of the purpose behind what we do, why we do it, and how we want to impact the world around us. This approach requires presence, mindfulness, and an understanding that we are not merely products of our circumstances, but creators of our reality. To live intentionally means to make choices with purpose. Often we go through life reacting to situations and allowing the demands of the world to dictate our actions. We may feel overwhelmed or scattered, trying to meet external expectations while neglecting what truly matters to us. Intentional living shifts this dynamic by placing our values and goals at the center of everything we do. It requires clarity about what we want to achieve in life and the discipline to make decisions that move us closer to those objectives. Every day becomes an opportunity to align our actions with our greater purpose, rather than allowing life to simply happen to us. An important component of living intentionally is setting clear and meaningful goals. Without a sense of direction, it is easy to drift through life without purpose. Intentional living requires us to identify what we truly want, whether that be personal growth, career success, building relationships, or making a positive impact in the world. Once we have identified these goals, we must create an actionable plan to achieve them. Intentional living is about being proactive, not reactive. It's about taking consistent, deliberate steps toward the things that matter most, instead of waiting for opportunities to present themselves. Living intentionally empowers us to take control of our future, making us more purposeful in the way we live each day. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in intentional living. Being present in the moment allows us to engage with life more deeply and meaningfully. It means not being distracted by the past or future, but fully embracing the current experience. When we are mindful, we are more aware of the choices we are making. and we are able to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Mindfulness helps us slow down and be more intentional in our actions, whether we are interacting with others, working on a project, or simply going about our daily routines. It encourages us to be conscious of how we spend our time, ensuring that we focus on what truly adds value to our lives.